The Phantom Diner. I was driving back from a 4-hour road trip to see my family, and I was about an hour from home. I was coming from my brother's in Maryland, and I took Route 15 south because it passes through one of my favorite spots, Gettysburg. The whole trip was just 2 days long, so I was pretty sleep deprived and had been driving by myself with very few stops. I was cruising on the highway, and in front of me was a tunnel through the mountains. Hadn't driven through a tunnel on the way out, so I became alarmed that I had been driving the wrong way. I checked my GPS but had no signal on my phone. That was unusual because the whole trip I normally have signal. I immediately took the exit before the tunnel to get my bearings. It was a big circle exit, and at the end, a four-way stop with a flashing traffic light. I took a left, and the only thing around was a small 50s-style diner in a parking lot. All the lights were on in the diner, and the parking lot was full of cars, like packed. They were all old classic cars, but there was not a single soul to be seen. It was around 3 a.m., so I didn't expect a crowd, but there wasn't a hotel or any kind of houses nearby. Just a diner and parking lot full of cars. I'm sort of terrified, but I'm also curious. I stop and walk in. There's a radio playing with old-time big band music, a cigarette in an ashtray, and it's still smoking, and I can hear the grill in the back sizzling, like something was cooking. In fact, I know it was because I could smell food. I shouted, "Hello?" I hear nothing. I say hello again and nothing. It seems like there were just people there and then they just vanished. I walked to the kitchen and lo and behold, there were eggs, slices of bacon, and hash browns on the grill, cooking. Now I was terrified. The place had a very static electric feel to it, very tense, like I wasn't supposed to be there. All of a sudden, the diner phone rings. I rushed to answer it. "Hello? Hello?" Nothing but static. Then silence. What the hell was going on? Was this some sort of a joke? I ran out of the diner and looked at the cars. Most of them seemed new, pristine condition. How could that be? One had its radio on and a cigarette smoking in the ashtray. And of course, the radio was playing big band music from the 40s. I don't know of any radio stations that play big band music. I ran to my car and got the hell out of there. As I looked in my rearview mirror, my heart skipped a beat. The diner was full of people moving around like a busy diner would be. I got home, and even though I was exhausted, I couldn't sleep, wondering what I had encountered. I drove back the following weekend to check the diner out and investigate what had happened. To my surprise, there was a diner there, but it had been abandoned for decades. I stood there in a daze. I barged my way through the squeaky door, and the interior was nothing like it had looked like the week before. It was unused for a long, long time. A state trooper stopped and asked me what the hell I was doing. I told him I was just an abandoned photo fan and stopped to take a few pics. He said, "No trespassing." Excuse me, what do you know about this diner?" He looked at me puzzled. He said, "Well, my father was a deputy sheriff in this town in the 40s till the 70s, and he ate here all the time in the 50s. It went out of business when the new highway was built." "When was that?" I asked. He said, around 1969. But that couldn't be. I saw a full new looking functioning diner. I asked him to point me in the direction of the tunnel, and he said, "Excuse me?" "The tunnel," I said. "What tunnel?" "A tunnel I went through to get here last week." He said, "There's no tunnel in this town." I said, "No, There was a tunnel I went through. I remember it. I know what I saw. I'm not crazy. He said, son, I've been a trooper on these roads for 18 years, and there's no tunnel around here. I said, I must be mistaken, sir. He said, are you okay? I said, yes. He then said, have a good day, son, and remember, no trespassing. The trooper then went on his way. I stood there for what seemed like an eternity, in shock. If you go south on Route 15 out of Pennsylvania and encounter a tunnel or diner late at night, keep driving, because the ghosts of the past are still there, and they might be hungry.